2, 1. Good evening, Adam.
Good afternoon, Helmuts. Good to see you.
Good afternoon, Adam. And once again, my apologies for starting early. Got lost in time zones.
Happy to be here as always.
Absolutely awesome to have you. How are you doing? How has your week started?
I'd say pretty good. Can't really complain about much, except I have been trying to lose a bit of weight, and I've been dieting.
Oh,
So
bang.
I've lost 6 pounds, but for some reason the scale and I don't agree on the weight. And so on days I exercise, it doesn't go down much. On days I don't exercise, it decides it's going to drop a couple of pounds. So it's like, and I've been exercising probably about 5 times a week. I've been doing 5 kilometers on the treadmill every night. And it's like,
okay.
You would think this thing would start to play along, but it's not being nice. So I'm going to continue regardless. I'm barely eating anything. Even on my desk, I keep like bird seed now, little nuts and stuff.
That's good. That's good. Yes, yes.
I mean, I'm eating healthy. I'm not eating at night after 7. I stopped all the chips and the junk, and I don't order movie theater popcorn anymore because I like it.
What is healthy?
I'm having like a little grapefruit cup at night, and that's all that I'm having, like a little grapefruit cup that comes from Costco, and it's no sugar added. It's just already peeled, and I eat that, or I have a yogurt or something, and that's it. I used to eat like a whole bag of chips and stuff, so I've stopped all that. So
do you still consume flour and milk?
I'll say yes.
Yeah,
well,
flour, milk, and flour products, milk, and sugar.
Yeah, well,
I showed you the video when I was a big boy, 125 kilos. No?
What's 125 kilos in pounds?
125 kilos, that's big. That's like
how much? Let me just put it up in Google. 105 kilograms to pounds. So you have everything in kilos. Oh, it's 275. You were that big?
Horrible. Absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible.
Oh my God, I can't believe it.
That is what happens when you work from home. I had a home office, 3 monitors, and then at one moment I saw myself in the mirror and thought, this should stop immediately.
Yeah, that's what I did. I saw myself in the mirror and I thought, it was a side view, and I thought, holy crap, something's got to change.
Exactly.
But I mean, I'm not, I'm surprised because I look at you now. I could never think of you as that size, but congratulations on getting down. Hopefully someday I'll get to where you are.
So good evening, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. And one of the most well-known and experienced domain name investors, also a broker, and definitely a professional, Adam Dicker, Canada, Toronto. And of course, you can ask your live questions, and we can put them on the screen like this, and Adam will answer. Okay, and good evening, everybody. Good afternoon. Hi, gents. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Bill is asking. Yes.
So, Bill, I don't drink enough water. I need to drink more, so I'm going to do that. And I even bought I finally found after eating protein bars, I've tried like 30 of them, and they all taste like rubber or a shoe. I found one. I'll have to get one from the kitchen after and show you what it is. It's actually really good. It almost tastes like a candy bar, but it's really good. Finally found one.
Hello, Domain Explorer. Awesome. Adam, the recent sale, Galaxy.com. Have you seen it? 1.8 million. Media options.
I was paying attention to Bird.com, and I guess I missed Galaxy.
Bird.com.
Yeah, Bird was like a huge amount of pounds. Like it was like 8 million pounds or something like that. I'll have to look it up, but it was a huge sale as well.
That's 14 in dollars, something like that. Yes.
Yeah, it's it was a big sale, huge.
Amazing. Yes. And then at the same time, Brazil.com with S Sierra at CEDO for 92,950.
92,000 for Brazil?
Yes, 92,950. Yes,
ridiculous.
BRASIL. So money left on the table, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I had Canadians.com once. I purchased off a Sato auction for like, I think it was $10,000. And it was a really good buy. And I wish I held on to it, but I ended up selling it for a good amount. But anything like that with even Brazilians or Brazil, Canada.com is a huge site now, as I'm sure some of the other sites are.
Absolutely.
Brazil.com, with all those people, it's
one
ridiculous.
of the largest countries in the world.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Fast growing economy and
huge.
Somebody got a good, had, this was a good deal.
And hopefully they're a Brazilian, or hopefully they speak Portuguese and they can do a really great, huge site on it. It will be amazing. Yeah, that's a really good deal. It's a really
So
great
what
deal.
domain names have you prepared for us, Adam?
So all I did was I took a look through some of the domains that are dropping, that have already dropped today. I only spent about 5 minutes on it, and I found about 4 or 5. I'll move them in the center here.
Okay.
I thought these are available for registration right now. Website for marketing, which seems okay. For those of you that are married, couples online therapy sounds pretty good.
Couplesonlinetherapy.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
Advertisement service seems okay. I mean,
Yes.
I'd rather have advertising service, but advertisement service isn't bad. Insurance for driving. I mean, that's
Insurance for
brandable.
driving, okay.
Pretty easy name. Online graphics designer. They're all available right now.
Here you go. That's the business for you, yes.
We talked about Learn About Cloud last week. Nobody grabbed it, but here's one if you want to do a review site that doesn't infringe on any trademarks. Smartphonecompanies.com.
Smartphonecompanies.com. Okay.
You could do a review site on it.
Yep.
And then the other two are just installment plan. I don't like that one. It was installments. It's with the S is in the wrong place. You always got to pay attention. So those are I just did that in like 5 minutes before the call. So, but there's always some really good names out there that are available. And there's a lot of good co.uk's that are up. Everything's always available. So people need to take a look and make sure that you check and do your research properly. Sometimes it's hard to find really good names, but they're high CPCs and lots of good. I mean, even calendarworkouts.com seems like a good brandable if you want to schedule regular things. There's lots of good stuff out there. So there you go.
And those were all bought, of course. You have all found them using your software. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're available now. I'm not taking any of them. They're available. So, I mean, they're always out there.
Adam, the last time you mentioned who is service, and I did write it down, but for some reason it did not work.
Oh, that was who is history, I think.
Yes. So what was? Yes.
Okay, it's who is xmlapi.com.
Okay. Who is XML API? Okay, I did miss the API part, and I was checking it.
They're very strong. They give you historical who is. They give you whatever you need, and it's cheap. It's like you buy credits, and it's a couple of credits. $20 would last you like a month or two if you were searching for stuff. So I don't own it, but I've used it before, and it's a good service for finding anything and everything. You can also download all the databases from them as well. So if you want to get the whole CA database or the whole co.uk database, you can download them from them as well. They sell them. So for marketing or for whatever you want to do.
Have you bought any?
Years ago I did. I bought a CA one. It was for marketing. I haven't bought any recently, but I know their stuff is good. And they update it all the time. Like they have another service where you can download a list of all the domains that are registered every day. So it would give me all the domains registered today, whether it's .guru, .com, .ca, .co.uk, and you get those updated every day. You just log in and download them if you want to. And it tells you what's dropping from each CCTL, the LGLD. It's just good information. I don't have time to use all that information now, but maybe somebody else does. But their stuff is pretty good.
So you bought Canadian database, and how do you use it for your marketing?
I probably use it to market and find out who was running a WordPress website. I did some stuff and then sold the maintenance packages and things like that. Or I could have just checked to see who was like the new ones are good because the new ones don't have a website build. It just means they were registering today. And then you can sort through and figure out which ones are the parking websites, which you obviously know won't get anything. But then you know which ones are companies who actually need a website. But then they get bombed by 80,000 people every day saying, hey, how about our new website services? But they don't get phone calls. So if you call them up and you're from Canada and I call them up and say, hey, my name is Adam. I noticed to register this domain name. Here's my history. Here's what I can help you with. I get a lot farther than sending them an email when they get 25 emails from every person in every country saying, use our website services. So I found that useful.
Absolutely. Any good, interesting purchases or sales?
I'll say there's, well, interesting is that I'm working out a deal right now. So Pepsi runs a halftime show at the Super Bowl. That's
Okay.
interesting. So a couple other companies who are not Pepsi are interested in renting out Rams.com for this week to be able to use it against, bring all that traffic in of whatever 1 million users it is. So I'm using it, probably going to have it rented out shortly today or something to one of those companies. Big money, big traffic, all fun. But
I thought you were selling Rams.
I am, but if somebody wants to pay me $1 million to rent it for the Super Bowl week, and if they win the Super Bowl, they want it for 6 months. I'm happy renting it out for 6 months for $1.5 million or $2 million. So
absolutely.
I won't complain either way.
Fantastic. Hey, Jill is here.
Hey, Jill. Jill, I just found out you're like a grandmother. She just posted a photo on her Facebook, and I never would have guessed that she was a grandmother already. Never.
Okay. Congratulations. That's awesome. Okay, Arviz is asking, in your opinion, is it worth to invest in domain names unprofessionally as alternative to stocks? So what would you say to an unprofessional investor? Maybe
I'm not sure.
Yes.
I'm not sure what unprofessionally means in this case, because the minute you start investing in domains, hopefully you're doing it to make money, which makes it more of a professional. But if you're asking more of a side hobby, as opposed to stocks, which it sounds like you are, it depends on the domain name. You can invest in useless stocks and useless domains the same way and get zero return. The best thing to do is invest in 5 to 10 domain names that you understand could have some value, and then try to market them. Whereas you don't have that advantage with stocks. You basically have to wait till it goes up or down and see what happens. But unprofessionally, I would say never invest in anything. If you're talking about it as a side habit, I would say definitely yes. Domains, every successful domainer that I know who's been in the business and made millions eventually opens up another business and runs that business and keeps their domain portfolio on the side. And then when they sell something, it's extra money, but it's a lot of extra money, and they're extremely happy with it. That's the best way to run your, don't count on it for full-time work unless you're going to put in a full-time effort, which sounds like it's a side business you're interested in.
And if he is looking just to diversify his investments, so maybe he has some NFTs, some cryptos, some stocks, some this and that, and then okay, I'll buy 5 to 10 domain names and just keep them.
Yeah.
Where should he look for them?
If they're good domain names and he's looking for a decent investment, I would suggest he buys your Portugal portfolio to start, because it's good short domain names that will actually go up in value. I mean, so that's the best way to look. No, that's the truth. That's the best way to look at domains. But obviously they have to be 2 or 3 word domain names at the least, and each name has to be a name that a business could set up and start up on their own on that domain name. And if you can't see why a business would do that, then you definitely don't buy those domain names if you're using it for an investment.
Okay, Jill is saying thank you, Adam, and just yes, Samuel.
Well, you look young anyway, Jill.
Okay, Domain Explorer. If you build a review site on a domain, is there a high chance someone will buy it? Please, can you explain it?
Building a review site is mostly for your benefit, so that while you're holding the domain name, you can list 3 or 4 different types of, we'll mention the other one, smartphone companies or insurance companies, and each one of those reviews that you post on that site, that with the more information, it links to an affiliate link. I just noticed Sam's comment, and it links to an affiliate link where you can make money off of that domain name. So that's the most important thing, is that it's something for you to make more money on while you're holding the domain name, but it's not necessarily going to give you more money for the domain name or a better chance that somebody's going to buy it.
And what is your experience? So for a mediocre domain, and still, if you put up, let us say, a review site, you start getting some traffic. Is it a good investment, additional investment, to build a site on the domain, or just sell the blank domain name?
It really depends. There's two areas of schooling on this. One is it's a good thing to do because it can bring you in some investment to offset whatever you spent on the domain name at the time. So that is good because at least it brings you some revenue. It also gives a perceived advantage that it's a business and maybe somebody is running a business and it may cost more to buy than a page just says this domain is for sale, click here. So that's another advantage. But personally, it's all about building a site that you have a purpose for that can make money on it. Otherwise, you might as well just leave it as a for sale page.
Have you sold many websites yourself?
Websites,
Yes.
but I would say that in 98% of the cases, what I had on that website is not something that they wanted, and they ended up just taking the domain name and changing everything anyway on the site. So that's how I view it. I mean, if I buy a domain off of somebody, it's because I want the name or I want the traffic or I've got a buyer for it or a company who's interested in it. And most companies that are going to buy it may already have a company that specializes in something you may not be targeting.
And to Domain Explorer, I could say you could go and visit flipper.com. I think double P. Yes, that is a place where you can buy lots and lots of different websites, and you can go and see what is there in the market, what is the market, and you could examine the vouchers and the offers. And if you see that's your business, why not? Do you go to Flipper quite often? Do you sell domain names there?
No, Flipper was good when it first came out, and then there was all kind. I mean, I don't believe all the stuff that's on Flipper. I don't believe that somebody's going to sell me a domain name and show me that the site makes $50,000 a year and they want like 25,000 or 60,000 for it.
Absolutely, so much lies. Yes,
I can't trust it. Now, that's not to say you couldn't find a site on there that you could trust that had reasonable traffic, or even just find a good domain name where the seller may have it for $6,000 or $8,000 and it's worth it. Like Brazil for $90,000, but I have not been to Flipper in years, if I'm going to be honest.
So you would say Flipper is full with not fake data, but data made up just for those sales. I've noticed it as well.
Well, I couldn't say that because I don't have access to their data. I just don't consider it to be a reliable source where I would trust people who are putting up sites for sale without really, I mean, it's like buying a car. You have to take the car in and get it certified, and you'd have to do the same thing with any website that you'd think about buying. People can buy traffic, they can fake visitors, they can do all kinds of stuff, but hopefully with real revenue, even that they could fake. They could redirect their real business site to that and make it look like it's coming through, and then they sell you the franchise site that they just set up as a shell. I've seen all these things in the last 22, 23 years. So just all I can say is make sure if you're going to buy anything, do your due diligence and make sure you do it properly. And otherwise, any site is the same. They're all not bad as long as you do your due diligence.
Nevertheless, if I would have to buy a site, if I had some money to be invested into sites, I would start with Flipper, definitely. And sometimes you can find great deals on eBay as well. Yeah,
when I first started out, I was buying domains on eBay because there was nowhere else, and that's where I bought download.net. I think it was $2,500. I paid for download.net probably in about 2000, and it sold for, I think I sold it for $100,000 US a few years later to a company in Germany that owned a large shareware company. But I bought a lot of domains. My first domains were definitely bought on eBay, and that's actually, I guess, how I found out about the domain business and got started in it, and it's been great ever since.
And do you list something on eBay still?
No,
occasionally.
Never. No, I haven't. No, I don't think I've listed. I haven't even listed regular products on eBay. Like if I was selling something.
Yes.
Because we have local places for stuff like that in Canada, local classified sites. But
so you have Kijiji, yes.
Yeah, Kijiji. Okay. And we can use that for stuff. And the Kijiji is really good, but I have not listed domains on eBay for a while. Maybe it would be a good test, but no, no domains on. I bought. I don't think I've ever sold one because I was in a buying mood at that stage in my career. So I bought lots but didn't sell lots, and that's when I sold. I bought 3 domains that I sold to Kevin Ham. I think it was for $160,000. I sold him lupus. Leukemia.
Okay. Oh, lupus is wolf in Latin, isn't it?
But it's a disease here. It's, it was. I'm not sure if it was lupus, but it was leukemia. And I also know that I sold him Satan.com because he was buying. He bought God.com, Heaven.com, Hell.com, and I just bought Satan and just flipped it to him on through eBay. just as a quick sale. I'm not a believer in Satan or anything like that, but there you go.
Was it a good sale?
Very good sale. It was like $160,000 for the 3 domains that I sold him. And at that time, I was starting out. So you're starting out, you've got very little money, you've got a bit of money, and all of a sudden you bought 3 domains for under 10 grand and you got 160. That's how you start to build your business and keep investing more in domains. And that's pretty much what happened.
That's
So
money.
and I still have that transaction. Went through escrow.com, so I can even pull it up and show it.
Okay, and once again, Sam is in the bed, and we wish Sam quick recovery, Sam, and maybe next week you can join us.
Is he sick or he's just sleeping?
No, he's a bit unwell. Yes.
Oh, sorry, Sam. Feel better.
Oh, things happen. Yes. So, Domain Explorer. If you list your domain names on all marketplaces, how do you know which ones are getting the most visitors, especially if you can only forward to one name server?
So the best way to do that is to, so let's say your names are Dan or Sato. You can log into Sato and you can check your domain portfolio in all of these places, and it will tell you roughly how much traffic has been to that page. The problem is if it's only at one name server, that's where your real traffic is. The only other way you're going to get traffic is when people go to it through Sato and they actually look for that exact name and go to that page. So it's not a true estimate of your traffic. The only real estimate is going to be off of your name servers. And I find that certain marketplaces filter out different kinds of traffic, so it's hard to get a real accurate description of your traffic. A lot of them, Dan.com does a good job filtering out bot traffic, BOT, not BOGHT. Sato, I find, has better numbers for me, but less sales. And everything is different. And Afternic and Sato have far more exposure than Dan does, but Dan has the better options for selling a domain name.
When you say better numbers, what do you mean by better numbers? Traffic or sales?
Traffic.
Okay.
Sato has better traffic numbers, but they could be including all the bots, so that may not actually be good.
Absolutely. And so you would, which names? Where would you put your traffic to? Dan?
So yeah, I've been playing around, to be honest with you. I put I think it was about 1,600 names at Dan. I left them there for a couple of months, and then I moved them in the last 2 weeks. I moved them to Sato, and I'm just seeing how they're doing on Sato just as a comparison. I can tell you the traffic numbers are up, but not the sales numbers. So what do I care about more? The sales.
Absolutely. It is about the sales. Yeah. And you find that there are more and better sales at Dan.com.
Yeah, and it may be because they have their pages look better, to be honest with you. Their for sale pages look better, and they have a lot more options. People may not want to use that, make an offer or rent the domain name or lease the domain name, but seeing those options, to me, it may look a little bit more professional. It almost looks like a car site. When you go to a site, you have the option to lease or to buy, and whether I want to do either one, it's nice to have options.
Yes, I was thinking maybe I should direct mine as well there. No. I'm not giving my traffic to anybody. The domainers are sitting on so much traffic and giving it away.
I tell you what, I could direct quite a few domains. I've got definitely over 1 million some odd unique visitors with all of my domain names, and right now Rams alone is pulling in over 1 million on its own because of the Super Bowl. So I'm enjoying the traffic, and I'm waiting for hoping that they win the Super Bowl this year. Then it's going to be a really fun year.
So where is the Rams traffic going to?
Right now, it's just going. You can pull it up. It's going to a page about Rams the animals, and it's very busy. I may put AdSense on it tomorrow or something like that, but it's because I don't control what shows up on those ads, so I'm not accountable for that. But it's quite interesting. You can pull it up and look at it. It is a site about Rams.
Okay.
So my experience about Epic, I have, I think, about 35 to 40 names at Epic. I think that Epic has a good platform. They've got a good system. I think the fact that they're not hooked up with GoDaddy makes it harder to deal with them because I want the exposure on my names. And the other thing that I find is if you sell a domain name, you can't get immediately paid out for it. You have to get Epic credits or Epic Gold. I forget what it's called. And it's a little bit different. Depending on what country you're in as well, you have to pay a fee based on sending out wires. I know somebody was talking to me that it costs like $20 to get your payment or $25. to send a wire. But I like Epic. I like the people behind it. I think it's a good company.
Yes.
And I'm sorry that Rob is being penalized and not on GoDaddy because he's a really good guy.
What has happened there?
There was an issue based
Okay.
on opinions and articles that came out that GoDaddy and PayPal took Rob off of it. But it's not for me to judge. Everybody's entitled to their opinions. And I can tell you that when I was going through issues, Rob was one of the first guys who reached out to me. So I have a lot of respect for Rob.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Bill is saying, okay, time for a laugh. What do you think of personal exercise plan, personal exercise plans, personal exercises, all in .com?
So I will tell you that out of the three, and this may come as a surprise, I will say personal exercise plan, the singular, is the most valuable out of those three names. And the reason is most people will only be looking for one plan. So they need a plan dedicated to themselves. So that would be the best name in that bunch. And a personal exercise plan is something that, I mean, there's a new application out called Noom. It's not that new, but it does basically exactly that. It gives you a personalized exercise plan. And that's what people need. Every body type, every person, every eating habits, everybody is different. And it just basically keeps you on target saying here, like Bill said before, drink water now, do this now, do that now. So I think it's really good, honestly. I like personal exercise plan better because it's more logical. People don't look for two plans.
And still, would you take with the plural as well? If you went for the singular one, would you take personal exercise plans just in case, just to cover yourself?
I would take it because I know I'd make the $10 up in the sale of personal exercise plan eventually. Anyway, it's not a huge cover up, but if you want to sell it to somebody else, you could make extra money off the S. So I would say yes, but definitely I would work on selling the singular one over the other one.
And personal exercises, would you take it?
In a com, I don't think it's bad. I think it's a pretty decent domain name. I mean, there's no such thing as business exercises, but personal exercises are good. So
Yes.
yeah, I think it's good. I think they're all good domain. I think a trainer would like any one of these domain names, a personal trainer.
And the sale price?
Personal exercise plan, 4,800. Personal exercise plans, probably about 1,950. And personal exercises, I'd probably put right in the middle at about 3,250. And again, it depends. It depends what your buyer is or who they are. If it becomes a fitness gym and you're making an offer and you know who it is, you can decide on your prices accordingly. But for $30 that you put into those three, I think it's a good investment.
So you would still say that it is good to go under those 5,000?
Depending. If you want quick sales, yes. I mean, I have a lot of people whose portfolio that I manage, and they're very realistic on their prices. They know
Yes.
that they're under 5,000, under 3,000. Those are the easier ones to move, and you can move high volume. The theory behind that is I only paid a registration fee for these ones. So if I sell them at 900, 1,000, 2,000, it's good money, and then I can go buy 10 or 20 more and still have good profit. If you look at domaining that way, instead of thinking about them emotionally and thinking, I have this domain personal exercise plan, I want $20,000 for it, but I only paid 10 and you're going to sit on it forever. You may be able to get 20 if you sit on it for 15 years, but you may be able to get $3,500 or $4,000 for it in the next year and be able to invest in more and put some money in the bank. So I think people have to look at it based on the investment they put in. I never look back at domains that I may have sold or undersold because they're profitable. And I sold it what it was at the time, and I just have to deal with that. So to me, that's how I feel about it.
That's great. Here's a kind of
A ram is a male
comment.
sheep. Exactly.
Exactly. And the rams, several male sheep
And
running after money.
And look at bird.com, another
Bird.
animal just sold. And
Yes.
I think it was like 8 million pounds or something like that, or so it was a lot. And if you go to it, I think it's a Simpsons cartoon right now where they're just talking about birds and birds and birds.
Oh,
But they're going to change it. They're
Yes,
building a
of
real
course.
site on it. But it's interesting because it did just sell, and I saw the announcement like yesterday or something like that. So
Oh,
all
that's
good.
fantastic. Okay, guys, the latest news.
How do you
Thank
know
you.
it's amazing? We're just starting.
It
Oh,
is.
no, we're halfway through.
It always is. It always
Oh.
is.
It could be amazing. Depends on the questions. If there's good questions, it'll be more amazing. So ask all your questions.
So there was a recent sale, metagames.de. So meta, we know metas are all crazy.
Yeah.
Games.de. So German, 2,999 euros,
Yeah, I think that was
and
a heck of a
and
deal.
and not to the Meta, not to the Facebook.
Yeah, I think whoever found that found a good job and got the name. But remember, look at the buyer. What did he pay? $15, and he got 3,000. So
Yes,
I would say it's undersold. But where are you going to make that kind of profit on your 300 whatever it is on your domain name? 300 times in what, maybe a couple months. So good for the seller and probably good for the buyer. But I think it was probably undersold. But if I was a seller, I'd be happy because who knows, maybe you get stuck with it forever.
what about the trademarks?
I haven't really seen any trademark. There's so many meta domains out there right now. I don't know how it's
Well,
going to be.
and we know why they are registered.
Yeah. I did hear a good joke though the other day
Yes.
about if you're ever going to record an adult movie of yourself on film, make sure that you have the Disney music as your background, because then they'll go, if it ever leaks, they'll go and sue everybody to take it down for
Okay.
you. So there you go. A little off topic, but still funny. So no, I just nah, it's hard to say. I think that it's there's too many of them out there to go after everybody. I mean, it's going to take forever.
Okay. And then there was another one, and then there was bankfirst.com.
Bank first.
Bankfirst.com. And if you could open it, yes, it sounds funny, but then once you open it, Bank First.
No,
Can
it
you?
doesn't sound funny. It sounds like a good domain. The reason I
Yes.
was laughing is because
Can,
when
can,
I
can you open it? Yes.
sure, let me take a look.
And what do you see on the top?
Is it a com?
Yes, it is, of course.
Webinar business payments fraud. Exciting news. Bank First announces merger agreement with Denmark State Bank. Yeah, that's what I see.
They've got the money and they've paid them. They've invested,
Yeah,
and they paid 800,000.
for Bank
Bankfirst.com.
First.
Bankfirst.com.
So that shows you that there can be really good investments. The reason I chuckled is when I first started in domains, I registered every country in the world with Bank of. So I did Bank of Ghana, Bank of this, Bank, and I also registered First National Bank, Second National Bank, Third, and did all of those as well. I ended up selling like one or two of them for like probably a few $100 or maybe $1,000, but eventually I just let them all drop. Wasn't doing a good job on that one. But
And here you go.
yeah, I registered every one of them back then. This is a really, obviously it's a good one, and nobody could really tell what this was going to turn into or who was going to buy it when you bought something like that. It's just two words.
Yes.
They go together, but they don't go together like a banking transaction. Bank first. I don't know. It sounds good though. It's a good slogan. Bank first, spend later. I don't know. It's could be anything.
Well, if it is a brand, maybe they just needed to cover themselves.
But it's interesting that Denmark State Bank bought Bank First. So there must have been something they liked about the products or services.
Yes.
To get them interested.
That's interesting. So Bear.com. There was something else. So crypto.de as well with K, with kilo.
On the front end?
On KRYPTO.de. Sold for 35,000 euros, 35,700 on Cedar.
In German, do they say crypto with a K? Is that how
I
they spell it?
I think they do say crypto with K, with kilo.
Yeah,
yes.
Then it makes sense. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense. But if they say K with crypto, then it makes sense. Then it's a really good domain. How much was the sale price?
35,700.
That's a really good
euros. That's 40,300 in dollars.
Yeah, I think it's a really good price. .de's are very good. They're always one of the most sought after CCTLDs. So I think it's really good that I think it was a good deal for the buyer on that one.
And the sucker here is Brazil.
Yeah, Brazil. It's kind of surprising. I mean, that's under $100,000 for a large country that takes up a huge amount of the South America continent. Even one of the smaller ones would have been good. Like even Ecuador would be over $100,000. So it's surprising that Brazil, with its population, sold for that kind of price. But it also depends on who needs the money.
Absolutely. If you need the money today, that's it. Then you are happy. Okay. ecforsale.com.
I don't know what EC stands for, so I'm going to say not very valuable. I don't know what EC stands for.
Okay. Justin, does the future of .com domaining look bright?
Yeah, so that's an easy question, Justin. The future of domaining looks so bright, you have to wear shades. It's absolutely bright. The reason is, there's a few reasons. One is every company always wants the .com. No matter what they register, whether it's a .io or anything, when they become out of that toddler stage and they become a booming business, they also want the .com. That's what I've found. There's about 6 companies that I have now, probably 8, who I know have other extensions and are willing to buy their .coms. They just don't know how to go about getting them and negotiating them from the people that have them. Plus 170,000 coms drop every day, and there are quite a few in there that are good domain names. I can absolutely say that I feel good about what I own in .com and .ca and other extensions as well. And I think that there's a lot of really positive things that are going to come out of it. And I think that with everything that's happened in the world, I think that this is going to be one of the biggest years for online. And I don't think we're ever going to look back. I think it's going to be continued growth for websites, for domains, for hosting, for a lot of companies. And it's going to be really great, I got to say.
Of course, everything moves online.
Yeah, brick and mortar stores close down if they can and they go online. I'm hearing lately about companies that are sorry because they waited so long to go online. So I don't think that it's going to be something that we're going to look back on. It's not something that I'm going to say, hey, you better dump all your domains now and get into crypto, or dump them and get into NFTs or something. I think that it's going to continue to grow. And I think that I heard something on the news the other day that the growth of the tech industry is the strongest right now out of any industry that's going on. So definitely it's going to continue to grow, and people need a domain to be able to grow.
Well, of course, if we look into the top lists, the top richest people, there are no inheritances anymore. 8 of 10 are into IT. Something, yeah. Yes, everything is.
It makes me glad I didn't become a doctor or a lawyer, and I'm happy doing my computer business.
Okay, so about EC, electric car.
I don't see that as.
And Justin says EV is better than EC. Electric vehicle.
Yeah, I just don't see anybody knowing what's going to be at that site from that domain name. So I would say, no, not for me.
Okay, and here's a question like this, like aquatic. I didn't understand this question.
Something about water. That's what aquatic means, but I don't know what he means with.
So aqua, yes. Aquatic.
We'll have to wait for a follow-up question from Salmon.
Okay, then there was a sale as well. NFTstore.com.
See, that's a good domain name.
They are all crazy about NFTs. Now when Ocean, what was the ocean? Crazy Ocean.
It's not Blue Ocean, it's the other one.
Open Ocean.
OpenSea.
Okay, OpenSea. Yes. So when OpenSea is evaluated in several billions,
there's people
everybody's into
There's people that find values in everything, and I'm sure some of the NFTs. I saw something the other day about some type of NFT is being sold. I forget what it was, whether it was a video or it was something different than the standard pictures and things that we're seeing, and I don't know. Listen, it's a collector's item. I think that it's good to have. I don't know what I would do if I owned a really high-end NFT, and what am I going to do? Maybe I'll save it as my background on my wallpaper or something on my screen. You can obviously try to resell them and move them, but I don't know how that's going to go going forward.
And to those who wish to buy something cool and show it off and say it is real, but can't afford really to buy, if you can't buy those punks or apes, then you should look into Ejim. Ejim is an interesting coin I've been following up for a long time, and they just launched their own CryptoPunks.
Can you spell it, Ejim?
Ejim, yes. E for echo, G for guitar, or what was standard G? Georgia. E for echo, and M for Mike. Ejim.
Okay.
It is an interesting, very interesting coin. It is done from 0.0. There is a good team under them, and they've got their own NFT marketplace, and Ejim is interesting. They are trying to take over the Ethereum. They're saying
and I see they're on
an
IO domain name. So eventually we'll have to get the com, because eventually they will come looking for it, probably. Although crypto stays on IO for a while.
Yes. Cryptos, they can't.
Be an interesting story as to why.
But you can buy your CryptoPunk. Here you go. You can buy your CryptoPunk, put it on your Twitter, and why your CryptoPunk is worse than other CryptoPunk that somebody paid $2 million for.
I have to look into it. I think I'm going to draw. I'm a lousy drawer, so I may decide to draw some NFTs myself and see. Every celebrity seems to be getting into it as well, where they're doing these NFTs for to raise money. So
yes,
it's interesting. And then I've read about some people, a couple of women who set up an NFT, set up like 40 or 50 different pieces of a cartoon they made and sold them all for a few $100,000 and got out of debt and paid off their mortgage and everything else. So it's interesting. There's all kinds of stories about there and success stories, but NFTs are either a quick flip or a collector's item, or they're probably like crypto, and they're going to be here for a long time. So we better get used to them.
Okay. So there is so there was a question. Why don't you ask him? His name is Adam. Why don't you ask Adam about my domains? Then I open the live stream and I'm checking the comments
to find his domain names.
Well, maybe you should put them up once again. So Mazona is saying there was EgyptHydrogen.com.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, really, what does that mean, Mazona? Does it sound like a business could set up on that, selling hydrogen in Egypt? I mean, you have to think of two words that go well together that a business could set up on, and I'm not sure Egypt hydrogen is not just two thrown together words.
Okay, maybe to the latest news, you see, you can use the asterisk to separate .com from your name, and otherwise you might the YouTube might flag you as a spam comment. So, and I'm trying to see.
Yeah, I've had domains I've put in Facebook comments and said you can't use this. It's banned. It's a banned term.
Oh,
but it wasn't even a banned term. It was like a domain name, and it wasn't anything dirty or anything weird.
It means somebody has been using it either to push links through or something. Okay, and then there is a comment that is not coming up. So it is Mazona's domains, 3 domain names. So they are Decentralized Web, then number3.com, then NFTs number2.net, and NFTs number2.org.
Yeah, Mazona, I know who you are. So all I can say is I think you need to take one of my courses. These names are not extremely valuable, and they're going to be hard for you to sell.
Okay, this should be a clear answer for you. Okay, so and yes, so NFTs are selling for millions, and NFTs are selling for pennies as well, or not selling at all.
That's the amazing thing. People that were starving artists now all of a sudden have skill, and they can be found, and people could buy them. Even if they weren't selling for hundreds of thousands or $50,000, it's another good way for people to sell their artwork and get noticed for realistic prices. So it's interesting.
I don't think there is anything realistic. It is all about the influencers. If one or two influencer buys it, then so influencers determine the price. Nothing else. That's absolutely ridiculous.
And I know that they're incentivized to help promote them in most cases. So that's I don't care how much a beautiful ape is. I'm not putting it on in my house or on my website. I mean, it is what it is. Doesn't exactly look like art to me, but I'm no art professional, so who
That's
knows?
fine. If you like it, you like it. Awesome. So, Salmon, what are your
Um,
thoughts on domains that are misspelled? Very good question. Thank you.
So generally, I would say it's not a good avenue to pursue. There's a couple types of typos, as we call them. There's trademark typos, which I would suggest never buying because you can be sued for owning them, like Disney with a Z or something like that, or a Z. And then there's other ones where if you want to spell mortgage, mortage, because most people can't spell mortgage, those ones are more generic, but I mean, you may get some good traffic and revenue from them, but you're not going to be able to sell it long term unless it's based on revenue that you're getting from it. So I'm not a
Okay.
fan of them.
Thank you. The next question. Hi, guys. From John. So, what does Adam think about decentralized hashtag domain names?
Hey, John. Good to see you. Quite honestly, I don't really have an opinion on them. I haven't dealt with them much. Probably Helmuts will have a better idea of decentralized hashtag domain names than I will. I honestly haven't bought any. So unfortunately,
Okay.
that's my answer. I'm not experienced in that.
Thank you. So, here we go. All.coms. So,
Okay.
me, you.
Mutiverse,
Okay.
Centverse, Ninth Verse, Metaverse Emulator. So if I had to pick one in here, I like the Metaverse Emulator. Somebody will probably eventually buy that. Ninth Verse, Centverse, Mutiverse. I'm not sure what the value of those would be. It would be hard. Honestly, there's none of those that I would consider buying, but that doesn't mean that don't have some value to somebody.
Okay. What about actually religious ones, as the ninth verse could trigger some interest towards something?
It could be. I mean, that could be
What,
something that
what's yeah,
is.
what's your experience with churches and religious people? Are they prepared to put
Uh,
quite significant amount aside for the domain name?
I would say no. Generally not. Even if they were buying their own name or their own church name, they're generally not going to think it's worth 1,000 or thousands plus. So I would say, even though the donation box may be full, they don't think the value is in the domain names.
Okay, thank you. Okay, can you, e.g., a good NFT domain names?
So he wants examples of NFT
Yes.
domain names. Let's see. We already talked about NFT store, NFT warehouse, NFT online, stuff like that. Stuff that actually relates to what people are looking for that would make more sense, not specific ones like NFT grapeape.com or something like that, but specific like maybe sports NFTs or health NFTs or something related to a brand or a type of it. The same way you would look for domain names. Take a look at art and see what type of NFTs would be good. Modern NFTs, mosaic NFT. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out stuff that would make more sense. And he likes that. He's happy with that. So that's good. That's what I would look at, categories rather than just single
Okay.
NFTs. Comic NFT is also another good one. Comic book NFTs, comic NFTs, categories is what you're looking for.
Okay, and here's Jill is asking, what are decentralized hashtag domains?
Yeah, and that's why I couldn't answer the question because I don't really have an answer to that, Jill. I don't know. I'll have to look it up after this. But maybe if John wants to tell us and give us his ideas on what it was, John is a pretty well-versed domainer, so I'm sure he'll know.
Okay, and I
yeah.
can't comment neither. Yes. So, trash. Some domain. Okay. Okay. Thanks, Adam, for your reply. By the way, I registered.
Okay, so you're talking about literally like a hashtag and then Canada or hashtag
We
and
did.
whatever. With
a
Robert.
friend of
Yeah,
yours.
it was
Yes.
Robert Bibb. That was
Yes,
the one
and
who did that show.
I should get him back. Yes, I should get him back.
I think they have to be on a specific network to be working. Like they're not universally
On his
accepted.
using his browser.
Yeah. And the problem is a lot of people aren't using his browser, and they'd have to be universally accepted by somebody like Google or somebody or whatever else to be able to see them. But yes, it's probably a good thing once it gets accepted. And probably, John, you're ahead of the game.
Thank you for the reminder. Yes, we should get him back.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I don't really have anything for. Unfortunately, Amazona, I know you also go by Supreme Domains, but I don't have any value for any of these, and I apologize.
Okay, so Amazona's main brand is supremedomains.com.
They go by Supreme Domains on Facebook. I don't know if
Amazona,
that's a
do you? What is your brand name? Come on, give us.
I'm pretty sure.
Supreme Domains. That's good.
It's amazing how I remember all the people I deal with all the time.
Okay, themetaverse.com. Okay, got it. Here you go, Justin. Do you recommend any sites that spot trends? Do you register a lot of trending topic domains?
So this is a good question, Justin. I would say I definitely follow a lot of trending topics. That's the only way to stay ahead of things before they come out, before all the other domains find them. That's how I knew about the Washington Commanders before they came out, and I registered Commanders blog, Commanders website, Commanders hats, Commanders jerseys, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So yes, you absolutely have to stay ahead of the trends. You have to stay ahead of what's coming out. But staying ahead of the trends is dangerous because sometimes you're taking some chances on things that may or may not become a trend that everybody wants. But I would absolutely recommend staying ahead of it. There's a few. Tech trends is one of them. Here, I'm holding my thumb. Tech trends is one of them. Medical trends is another. There's all kinds of different trends that you absolutely want to stay ahead of. AI would be another one. There's a lot of different things, artificial intelligence, virtual reality, new medical treatments that are coming out, better hearing aids, lots of things like that. Just like computers, they change radically. I buy a laptop every 2 years just because I like more power and more RAM, but every technology and every area tends to change. So absolutely get yourself on all the lists for all of the upcoming trends and make sure you're aware of them all before somebody else is.
So how do you follow trends yourself?
I always Google things like technology trend lists or technology trends, and then I apply to their newsletter and I get them and I look through them. Or I look up top 10 trends for 2022 or top 100 trends, and I look through all of those. And usually you will find all kinds of great ideas for what's upcoming and what's going to hit. Some of them may take a year or two longer than others, but they do hit, and they're really good. So definitely important. And stick to generics when you're buying them.
Okay. Previous message, please. Okay, Domain Explorer. Okay. And there was one that didn't go through. NFT attachment and NFT attachments all.com.
Yeah, I don't mind those. So I think those are decent domain names. NFT attachment and NFT attachments. One of the things you could do with that is, and this is another idea, is you could sell a website and try to make it as an NFT or with an NFT, or sell a domain name with an NFT or something that comes with it, which separates you a bit different than somebody else who's got just a website or a domain name. So there's a bunch of unique things that you can do with NFTs and domains that have not been developed yet.
Okay, and here's a question like this: why .company still low value?
So he's saying why are .company domains low value, still low value? I don't think they are. I think it really depends on what you have. I think that if you had insurance.company or mortgage.company or anything with one or two words that make sense or is a product, it's okay. Like if you had like breadmaker.company or whatever you want, you could do something with it, but you obviously have to stay generic with it. I don't know if you'd go after HostMaria.company or not, but I don't think so when you have HostMaria.com.
Waste of money.
Yeah.
Just waste of money. Yes.
That's why.
Okay. Thanks, guys. You're most welcome. And thanks to Adam, of course. I have electric plane company, hydrogen cars company, .company, of course.
Electricplane.company.
Electricplane.company.
Well, how many electric planes are there out there right
How many
now?
electric plane companies are there?
Yeah, that's the thing, because that's who you're going to try to sell it to.
I keep dreaming of my plane, and I know only one or two companies, decent companies in Europe who do electric cars and electric planes, and they've got their own brands.
And what happens if you run out of charge? You better hope
You
that
just-
meter's reading right. Probably have backup with gas. Who knows? I don't know. That, yeah, I'll tell you.
No.
Hard one to
There is
sell.
no gas. There is no gas on the.
So then they better charge it up right. What happens if a car, your battery runs out, like it does with cars sometimes, just stops all of a sudden? I wouldn't want that in a plane. Yeah, so you have to see who your potential purchases are for that domain name and then decide based on that if it's worth getting.
Okay. Purchase NFT.shop is for sale. How much would you value it?
So I wouldn't value that one high because basically if you think about the English, you're not saying purchase NFTs, you're saying would you want to purchase an NFT shop, which would mean like a gallery to me of NFTs. So for me, it's a little bit different. But if you're looking at it as a store, like purchase NFT, and then there's a shop, but it should be purchase NFTs with an S. If you're going to purchase multiple NFTs at a shop, you're not just going to buy one. So I don't tend to like that domain name. If you've got a shop, you've got multiples. So not a fan. I would say leave it alone. At the moment, about 5 companies are building electric planes, hoping to get licenses. Yeah. Well, Mizona hang on to it for quite a few years, and well, what, 7
And
years? 6
exactly.
years now.
This is a long process, and additionally, as far as I know, companies who build electric planes, they've been in plane business already for a long time, and their brands are settled already and done.
Besides waiting for the 5 companies, you have to also multiply a factor in of, do these 5 companies want a .company domain name? Probably not. Do they want their own .com? Probably. So probably it's not very likely, even if you wait the 5 years, that you're ever going to sell that domain name.
So there are better options to be chosen from.
Different options.
And congratulations to the registrar. What can we say?
Yeah. Well, I always say, what do I always say? It's not in the golden days of the gold mining. It wasn't the gold miners that made all the money. It was the people selling the picks and shovels, and the registrars are selling the picks and shovels, and you're doing the mining. Domainers are doing the mining. So the ones selling the picks and shovels, those registrars, always will be richer than you.
And what I say for fly fishers or for rod fishers, there are hooks for fishies, and there are hooks for fishermen.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Okay, soon dealership, Panther, okay, OTA, online travel agency, all in .company.
So I don't like soon.company, don't like dealership.company. Panther.company could be good if you were selling Panther statues, or there was a company named Panther. That one makes the most sense. OTA.company, probably only good because it's a 3-letter .company, but I probably wouldn't invest in that one because not everybody's going to know that you mean an online travel agency, and that's part of the problem. So if you have them, sell them.
Yes. Adam, have you seen any .company, any .global domain name ranking?
No, but to be quite honest with you,
even occasionally.
I haven't looked for them. I'll start to look for them a bit more, but I certainly don't see them in the top of the search engines. Even if I type in company as a word, I don't think I'm going to find it. Like even if I type in insurance company, which is a singular popular word for company, I don't think. Also another one for .company, guys, if it's not taken, something like LLC.company or incorporate.company makes more sense because that's a business in itself, and that would be a good brand for .company. Register.company, incorporate.company, stuff that you could actually do to set up a company. Trademark.company, things like that. Those would be much better options than what's up on the board.
Okay. NFT first, then the niche / word.
Mark he's on Myrtle Beach right now, sitting out there enjoying his time. So it's good to have you on the show.
Absolutely brilliant.
NFT first, then the niche. No, I would say niche first. Sporting NFTs. I wouldn't say NFT sports. I'd say sports NFTs first. So I'd say the niche first and then the NFT or NFTs rather than NFT first.
Thank you. Okay. Bill says, I was only answering about electrical paints, not the domain.
Well, then we
Okay,
accept your
wow.
answer, and it's perfect.
Accepted. Thank you. And here is Sam's reaction.
Yeah, Sam loves them. I think we made him even sicker by talking about that company.
What about .NETs?
So I've only ever sold one, but
Okay.
in fairness, I haven't invested in many. The one that I've sold is one we talked about earlier, and it was download.net. I would buy a .net with like a primary singular, only one keyword. I wouldn't invest in 2 or 3 word .nets, but acronyms are still okay, and you can get money for those.
I was just checking. There was a recent SL.net, interesting one. 3 letters something. Okay.
See, that matches what I said.
AOP.net. AOP.net.
See, that matches what I said. You either get an acronym or get a one like that. Well, AOP.
AOP. So Alpha Oscar Peter.
It stands for Association of Persons or a few other things, but I'm not sure what I would use it for. But as a 3-letter or 3-character domain name, that would have value as a net, and so would a 1-word or a 2-word, but that's it.
And even then, they sold it for $2,999.
Yeah, so that tells you, compare that to a 3-letter.com or even a 3-letter.de. There's not as near as much value in something like that.
And how many 3-letter domains do you need to hold for this one to shoot out?
Probably lots. Probably this person had this one only, or they've got about 10 or 20 of them, but they're not holding hundreds. Probably.
Okay. Domain Explorer. If a domain name has over 100 extensions, does this mean it's a good domain? So that 100 domain extensions that are registered already, probably, yes.
I mean, that's a good question. It really depends on, again, it depends on the quality of the thing in front of the dot to the left of the dot. So it has to make sense. Just because people have registered something .com or .something in 100 extensions doesn't mean it has value to you or to a company. But chances are, if it's got more extensions, then it's probably going to have some value, but I would still check it and make sure that if you buy it, there's a company that you could sell it to. You could see setting up a business on that domain name no matter what. Doesn't matter if there's 5 or 1,000 extensions.
Okay, that's a good one. Yes, and YP.net just sold too.
Yeah.
And what was the price? Major Designs. Do you know the price as well? Interesting.
I know Yellow Pages owns yp.ca and .com probably, but they could have bought this too. But yeah, a 2-letter .net will always have value. My guess is it sold for about just under 20, but I'm just guessing.
Okay. Thanks, you all. Lots of love. How much worth airtaxi.company? Bang.
Well, see, 15K. There you go. So I said 15, just under 20, so we're good. At least my pricing is accurate. Unfortunately for you, Mazona, my pricing is usually pretty accurate. Air taxi. It reminds me of the Jetsons. If as soon as we have flying cars and air taxis, it's probably going to be great. Uber for airplanes would also be good, maybe, but it's just not a thing right now. You're thinking about trends way too far ahead of the rest of us.
So I remember. So do you remember your domain, .ca domain, virtualcourt.ca?
Yeah.
Any leads on that one? So
I would say
.uk. Yes.
I would say I haven't had any leads on that one. It was one of those trends that I was looking at. Yes. I think it will get better because I needed to get. I wanted to get an ultrasound on my right knee because I hurt my MCL about 6 months ago, and then it was getting better, and then I fell on the ice. So when I called the doctor yesterday, she said, "Well, do you want to come in or do you want to do the referral over the phone?" I'm like, "Well, I'll do it over the phone, and they'll just email me a slip, and I can go have the thing done." So the ultrasound. So I just did it that way. I think courts are going to go that way too, and I think we're sitting on stuff that's going to have value down the road. I think there's a huge percentage of lawyers that don't even go to court ever. So I think that the online courts is going to be great.
It's interesting that I've had 3 different chats with 3 different lawyer companies who were interested in turning that into business together with me. And yes, that's an interesting one. So you might want to keep it. That's a potential. So three different UK companies. Yes.
Yeah.
But then there are
I think it's going to be good. I think that makes sense to sit on. It's a 2-word. It's good, and everything is going to go virtual. A lot of things are going to go virtual. So I think it's good.
Okay. So we've been 1 hour in. Anything else, Adam?
No, nothing to promote. Happy to be here. I always enjoy our hour. They fly by. What I'm amazed at is that when the people don't have questions, somehow you find good questions every week to come up with. So I think that makes us a good combination.
Thank you. And the last one. One letter, Q, for Quebec or Queen, .to. Sold for 57,500 at CEDA. So we can trust that.
Yeah, it's odd because .to is Toronto. So that's what we use it for here, and that's what a lot of people use it for. But certainly any one-letter dot something is a good brand that you can build on, the same as I think PayPal, but p.me or p.com, whatever it is. They're good. So anytime you can get a one-letter, it's good. But that seems like a pretty high price for a .to.
And for those, if you are looking for single-letter domain names, if sometimes you want to go all crazy, then yes, then there is this resource. One single. Oh, I need to look it up. I gave it to you, Adam. Yes. Single. Okay, let me share it and show it to you guys. Okay, but this is only once you are, and the prices are good. So the domain. The owner is a Polish guy. He created a software that I use and Adam uses as well. So,
I'm going to the link as we speak.
yes, and up here, you can see some really, really, really interesting names. Okay, let me remove the
banner.
Yes, the banner. Here we go. Okay.
So who created this site?
Polish guy.
Very interesting.
He's the owner. He's the owner of the. So he sold me that software. Yeah. So here are some really, really interesting names. Really interesting names. So whoever wants to go all crazy, but please understand these names have been there for a long while. Once again, his domain name is old. You can go into archive.org while they still exist. Look it up, and you would see it. The design hasn't changed, and that's actually great.
I would say I like DNA. D.NA is a really good one.
Of course.
U.FO. I mean, I don't believe in UFOs, what some people do. So as an information site, it would probably be really good for AdSense, but DNA is good for anybody.
So he's got all the numbers for Kyrgyzstan, all the numbers, then letters and.
But he's definitely got that software running really well.
Yes. So Macedonia as well. X.mk. So quite a lot of interesting names. So whoever wants to go all crazy. And another beautiful thing is in this column. So there are several columns, and he's very, very honest about this. So, and that's great. So he puts up renewal costs.
Oh yeah.
So we can see,
wow.
And this is awesome. Most domainers would never ever do this to a user. But he's very honest. You will buy this domain, and then the registrar will charge you $500 a year to renew it. And then we can see El Salvador.
Yeah, so, there's some great names.
Absolutely.
I mean, you could build a brand on any one of these, especially the ones that are pronounceable.
Absolutely. Yes. And be careful with Irish domain names. You can see the Irish domain names are very low. The value is very low. So 6.ie, only 5,000 USD. The problem is you have to have Irish company or Irish residency to own .ie domain name. Plus the country is small.
Yeah.
Be careful with
I do like IE domain names, I have to say.
Yes.
But the
6.ie is absolutely brilliant. And well, much better than our Icelandic names.
Yeah, just the paperwork you have to go through to get registered there is tough. But I do like the IE names. I am a fan of them.
So enjoy it, and maybe I can drop him an email and invite him to our event as well. Absolutely. So yes, but there is a guy with single ones.
Yeah, he's better than us, Bill. I got to say, he's got the ones, but yeah.
Okay, and let us say, so the last question. Why not, Ryan? What would you do if you had a domain name that got 50 million unique visits a month? Domain parking or build a site?
So that's an interesting question. It depends if you could set up a product or service and sell a lot of those products, I would build a site. But if you have no idea what to do with it and it's some weird domain like I've had before, xc18825u.com, and just happens to have a lot of traffic, then it's different. You have to park it and figure out what people are looking for there, and also look at Google Analytics. You should look at Google Analytics anyway if you don't know what people are looking for, because it'll tell you what keywords that they came into your site on when they searched Google, and that could help you target a product or service. But I would absolutely try to build a business on it. 50 million unique visits a month. Unless they're looking for like Pirate's Den or something, I think I would build a business on it.
And if you haven't got a clue, just direct the traffic to HostMaria. We would say thank you.
Yeah, they'll analyze
benefit from the traffic. Why not? We would say definitely thank you. But but that domain name is gold. Absolutely, that traffic.
Well, depends what it is, but traffic is usually gold. Yes.
Yes. Well, 50 million is enough to quit most jobs.
But it depends what they're looking for. If they're looking for something illegal or something horrible, I would not.
It doesn't matter. 50 million hits a month. You can live anywhere.
Yeah.
Now it is like that. Yes.
Yeah, but I don't want to have to move because of one domain name when there's so many others. But I hear what you're saying. It makes sense.
Yes. So just to understand, if you are European, German, adult webmaster, then your target is 10 or 20,000 visits a month, and then you have made it. That's it. Then you can move outside your mom's apartment or house,
or basement or wherever else.
Yes, but yes, traffic today is money. Okay, thank you, Adam. Okay, 100K per month in ad revenue.
Yeah, that's definitely a keeper. It's definitely a keeper.
Okay, Adam, thank you. And the last thing you would say to everybody?
I'll answer one of the questions we had earlier.
Yes.
Be happy that you're in domaining. Understand that the future of domaining is always going to be bright, and that you're in a great business, but make sure you do your research before you just start buying a whole bunch of domain names. But congratulations for finding domaining.
Thank you. And Bill says thank you. And Jill asked one more question, but we'll stop here. Thank you, and then see you next week. Yes, on Tuesday. Probably. Yes, Monday.
Sounds
Monday
good.
is again taken for me.
Looking forward to it.
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you, everybody. And please say thank you to Adam Dicker. And yeah, subscribe and go. And your Facebook group was?
The Art of the Name.
Okay.
The Art of the Name.
The Art of the Name. And please remember that in August 22nd to 24th, there will be a domain summit in London. I've agreed price for the 3 days. There is a restaurant will be converted. So within the restaurant there are 100. It is approximately for 100 people. Outside on the terrace there can be 50 people. And yeah, we'll organize an international networking event with free food, free drinks, and amazing people. Come.
And I've already had people ask me if I'm going. The answer is yes, and I've had Joe actually recommended a nice hotel in the Richmond Hill area that I should stay at. So I am looking forward to it.
And I can say, while the registration is still closed, my apologies. I tried to open a bank account, and today for a new company, it isn't that easy, and they requested a business plan. Please provide us a business plan. Oh, beautiful.
Please provide us a reason you're going to put your money in our bank.
Yes, and but there are many beautiful things. But there is another thing that London business development people will help us to promote the event. So that will be interesting as well. And we could have interesting guests from higher chairs. Thank you, and have a great week, everybody. Thank you, Adam.
Thank you very much.